Hello and welcome to Nollywood Film Club podcast. I am Mr. C of Iroko Critic, and with me is
Mrs. C of Iroko Critic.
okay. All right. First off, speak up. Your voice is way too low. Um, all right. So, episode 30 of the podcast, milestone. Wow, 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 wow.
Can't relate.
Thanks for listening thus far. This week we had a very interesting conversation about a film. It was Valentine's week. Hope you had a good Valentine's, by the way.
Hope you got gifts.
Wow! Wow! Why are you bringing personal
Are you on a
Anyway, all right. Okay. So this week, we talk about a lot of things. Something I forgot to say in this space is that this film we talk about, and this would have gone in my bad, but I forgot it. Is that this is not a Valentine movie? It came out on Valentine's Day. It's not a Valentine movie.
Maybe that's the point.
It just because there's love inside something don't mean it's a Valentine movie. A Valentine movie is very specific.
Mm-hmm.
It's hey, here's some butterflies and here's how good shit is, and oh, isn't love great? It's a celebration of
Love?
a specific kind of love as well, right? Anyway, so I forgot to add that, so I just thought I might as well add that now. But the conversation itself, went okay?
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a good conversation. I do think it's interesting that even though you've banned seeing the intention, I feel like this one we were confused about the intention.
Yes.
There was some confusion about the intention.
Yes. We have that debate a little later,
Yeah.
and it's like I still. My thing is that I don't know, and it's like it's just not obvious to me what the intention of this film is.
Is it time to unban I see the intention? Because now maybe that's a good. Maybe if you can see the intention.
All right. Okay. Anyway, yeah, it was a you'll see. I just hope you enjoy Nollywood Film Club discussing. That's you.
Oh, a Sunday affair.
All right, welcome to Nollywood Film Club. We discuss movies every Sunday, Nollywood movies in particular. This Sunday, we have a new Ebony Live Netflix original in the form of a Sunday affair. We'll do the good, we'll do the bad, and we'll do the summary. I am on my Badamasi, the highest level of Badamasi film now. I try and keep this to a tight 5 minutes, and then we'll go around if there need be. I will be muting. If you pass 5 minutes by plenty, if you're not rounding up, I will just mute, just so we get on, because something like some listeners have been asking for, it's just like slightly shorter content. So if we can keep it under 4 hours, that would be great. All right, okay. But having said that, a Sunday affair. Let's start with Atas. Atas, please tell us some of the things you liked about a Sunday affair. Hello. Fi, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Have I been speaking into?
I can hear
voice? You. Okay, all right, okay. All right, maybe Atas is not ready. Fi, do you wanna tell us some of the things you liked about a Sunday affair?
Okay, can I be honest? I really don't want to go first.
All right,
Thank you.
We're left with one person. Vanessa, do you want to tell us something?
I love being your last option, honestly. It's fine. Also, I don't understand this 1 minute reduction. 6 minutes was already bad enough, and you're talking about 5 minutes.
All right.
Anywho.
Try and keep your good in 5 minutes.
As you know, that's not going to be hard for this space. For this film. I don't have that much. I tried my hardest to come up with a list. Let everybody take it as it is. My first, good, I guess, I don't know, whatever. I want to thank Ebony Live Studios for reworking their formula a teensy bit. You know how they usually have an Owambe at the end of the film, like the grand finale, as it were. This time, Ebony Live said no. Let's surprise them and put the Owambe at the very beginning of the film. So yeah, thanks them for that. I'm also grateful to Ebony Live Studios for giving Uzo Asinkwa roles. I actually think Uzo has the potential to be a really good actress if she's given the chance with a really good director. But for whatever reason, she doesn't seem to book roles in Nollywood, and that's incredibly disappointing. I want better for her. And as a brief side note, Uzo looked incredibly beautiful in this. Like, I legit did a double take. Like, scenes that she was in, the few scenes she was in, I kept zooming in and like trying to zoom into my screen as much as Netflix will allow me, just to see what is my baby girl. She looks so good in this. Yeah, segueing onto her only scene partner in this, Alex Ekubo. My next good is Alex Ekubo's swimming ability. I genuinely didn't know that that man was an accomplished swimmer. Did you see the breadth of his arms? Like, I genuinely want to thank Ebony Live Studios for showing me that Alex Ekubo is a great singer and swimmer. Um, as an aside, Alex Ekubo was actually pretty okay in the scenes he was in, but then again, his scene partner was Oris. My next good is Hilda Dokubo looked incredible in this. It was really nice to see her. It was just like a genuinely warm, nostalgic feeling that I had from seeing Hilda Dokubo on my screen. And I guess my final good is the child actors for Uche and Toyin were adorable and good enough actresses. And I guess as a segue from the child actors, um, I guess like a half good would be them establishing that this sort of thing had already happened with them in their teenage/uni days, and they chose to not let a man get between them. However, I call it a partial good because their wigs were really annoying in that scene, but that's for later. And I guess those are my goods. I genuinely think I tried.
Okay, Vanessa giving special shout out to some of the kid performances and Owambe at the front. Yeah.
Alex
All right.
Ekubo swimming is the main takeaway from this. Why are you reducing my comments to sweep to Owambe and children? I said Alex.
I was doing this more slightly serious points. Okay, but thank you. All right, so I'm going to go to High Priestess and then Fi and Otas if you guys are back. So High Priestess, please tell us the things you enjoyed about A Sunday Affair.
Hi, Happy New Year, guys. Happy to be back here.
Yeah, good to have you back.
So I actually did, well, okay, I'll just go into it. So first thing, beautiful gowns. Not necessarily about costumes, but like pretty pictures. You get Ebony Life. I mean, they went all the way to South Africa. The next thing, in the beginning, there was a scene, the sex scene, where they juxtaposed it over where a couple was dancing salsa or zikizomba. I really thought that was cool, and they pulled it off. And then the main thing, though, story aside, the story structure was really good, because I think one of the main issues Nollywood has struggled with in the past is like, even when it starts out great, they somehow lose their way, and the third act is always a mess. This was actually well structured. I remember I was doing something, and I looked up about the halfway point, and that was where what's his face, Sunday, decided he was going to break up with them. So like, that's the turning point, and blah blah blah. So yeah, story structure, beautiful pictures, sexy dance. Those are the things I liked.
Okay, yeah, shout out to sexiness or sexy dance. But actually, yeah, I do remember that part of the opening. High Precious. I actually thought that was very well done. Yes, I thought that was good. Was the between the sex and the salsa,
like implying, and it was really cool. It gave me a lot of hope. Like, I was like, oh, okay. Then I sat down, and then of course, yeah.
All right. Okay, thanks. All right. I said I'd go back up.
Yeah. Hi. Okay, these are my likes. So I like a film that tells the story of adults in their 40s. I think that's a juicy age, and I like that. I like all three actors that were in the film. I think Dakore and Inse are just gorgeous ladies, and I think that the man that plays Sunday, I think is handsome, and I loved him in that film with Genevieve. I like the idea of two completely opposite women being friends without judgment. I like the little isms that were shown to describe the friendship. Like when Uche was crying and Toyin was comforting her, and she asked if they could have a sleepover. I also found it cute, that discussion where they both said that they had guys they were seeing but didn't want to say his name so as not to jinx it. So those things were cute. I like the art in the gallery. I liked a lot of the outfits. I like the scene in which it's revealed that Toyin is with Akin to Uche. I like the way she acted in that scene. I like the way they teased us to make it seem like Akin loved Toyin more before it was revealed that it was Uche that he loved. And I kind of like noted this down, like Nigerian society might have felt like it would have been Toyin because she came across as more modest. So yeah. I like that Waltbanger was the director. I've liked his work since I watched Bomo Express. I liked the transition scenes, the way it was shown how time passed. I didn't feel like it dragged. I liked how this film reminded me of old Nollywood storylines, both in a good way and in a bad way. I felt the sex scene was hotter than other sex scenes we've seen in Nigerian films, thank goodness. And when Uche's mom, not the 100%, when Uche's mom chased Uche into the house, when the kids, when she chased Uche into the house, and afterwards she chased Toyin inside, I found that moment to be very sweet. So yeah, those are my likes. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Fi. The 100 was in terms of the relativity, not not 100%. Yes, in terms of sex scenes. I don't know how much discourse anybody has seen about nudity. I haven't seen that much, and I think it's part of how just well it fits with this film. Um, Hopefully, I'm not stealing someone's good, but I thought that was, you know, just to build on Fai's point about the sex scene, I think this just looks better than a lot of what we've been seeing. Yeah. Anyway, what where are we? Oh, Taz, please tell us some of the things you liked about A Sunday Affair.
Sure. Okay. So I enjoyed the friendship, the lifetime friendship between Tony and Uche. Uche, despite them being completely different, and I love seeing them both grow through the film and how they both sort of came away with life lessons, and confronted their realities. Hilda was refreshing to see her. I don't know about her performance, but I love seeing her on my screen again. I liked the story that was being told. I thought that it was full of heart. At the end, I did tear up with Insei because she had lost like a great friendship that had been set up. Um, I really liked Insei's green outfit when she goes to confront Sunday at his office. I also enjoyed the setup with convincing us that he liked Tony more than Uche. So I thought it was a fun movie.
Oh, yeah. All right. More love for Hilda. Some beautiful gowns, more literal in this one. In this case, praise as well. All right, thanks, Otas. I think it was something he got Timmy. I think it was Timmy. Timmy, tell us some of the things you liked about Eight on the Affair.
Well, to be very honest, I've not actually finished the film because school has started, and even this weekend I really couldn't finish it because I'm actually just waking up this Sunday. But anyway, let me just go ahead with what I've been able to watch because I have like 30 something minutes left for the film. But the first thing that I like is the fact that Mo Abudu and Ebony Life generally Moabudu doesn't, have to deal with things like set design issues or like audio recording issues like we get to see in other Nollywood productions. So I'm really happy that, she has that one on lock. I also like the fact that from the look of the entire film, there's just something. There's just something I think I've kind of noticed regarding Ebony Life Studios film. There's a kind of vibrancy with the colors, especially the costume. There's a kind of aesthetic that Mo is able to pull off with her films that, you know, it's giving luxury, but not luxury in a shouty way. It's not like Play Networks, type of luxury. It's more able to trying to tell you that, okay, yes, my characters are rich, but not shouty type of rich. I don't know if that makes sense. Um, Another thing that I like about the film is the fact that they utilize the trains in Nigeria. That's one thing. I liked the tipsy acting. I'm going to copy Vanessa here and say that this is actually a partial good because I liked the fact that it kind of makes sense that Toyin did the things that she did with Sunday because she was tipsy. But again, that's a partial good, and I think I'll just get back to that when we are talking about the bad. Um, what else did I like? Like I said, I haven't finished the film, but I could tell that the film was 95 minutes long. So I kind of like the fact that the film knows that it's supposed to keep itself short. And that's pretty much about it.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Timmy. Short being part of the good there, which is interesting. But yeah, other things said. It is easy to take sometimes Ebony Live's production quality for granted, which is a good thing. Sorry, Timmy, just go on me if you can. Yeah, it is easy to take their work for granted, their production for granted. I wouldn't quite say they have it on lock. I think there's still a lot of room for improvement, but they are still like in terms of they're one of the leaders of getting you at least inoffensive production. Inoffensive is relative here. All right. Okay. And then Oyinka, please tell us some of the things you liked about
Hello.
Ismail.
Hello, everybody. I came in a little bit late, so I don't know what other people have said. So when I had the name A Sunday Affair, I had the name kind of remind me that this would kind of be a romantic melodrama romance of the old movies, kind of like An Affair to Remember with Kerry Kant and Deborah Carr, or Love Affairs, all those type of old movies where the affair, well, the romance is blocked because they are with someone and they're usually with somebody. That's why it's an affair. And it's like society, whatever, it's going to be angsty. You know that they want to be with each other. And indeed, this movie turned out to be something kind of like that. It is in the framework of those type of movies. So production wise, I thought this movie was good. In fact, the production that it took was the type of production that you kind of see in these movies where it is smooth, it is very clean. It is smooth and it is you can even see the train, like people meeting on the train and they have and it is something so typical about these types of like grand romance narrative, especially if there's going to be an angst in it, angsty melodramatic love or something. So I think that the aesthetics of the production really worked well with this type of movie. It seems that they did kind of their research. It seems that it was intentional because I went to go read an article that Mo Abodu said she wanted this type of movie. She was like, this is something that went out 10 years in her head. And she wanted it to be an evergreen movie. I think in the aesthetics of the production, this is good. This is a good thing because I have seen people in Nollywood wanting to do production and using a cinema language that they really like, not for the correct genre of movie that they're doing. That's not to say, again, I'm somebody that believes that, like, that doesn't mean that they can't do it. You can always do it, but try to do it well. You can always, there's no rules to filmmaking, really. It's somebody that made it up. You could do whatever you want to do. But that doesn't mean everybody will like it. The sound was okay. The music choices was also very good. They actually seem to have gotten like a They use actual music. N- I'm not saying other music and not actual music. They use instrumental music, and for this type of movie, good. Hold on. Oh snap! I have it copied, guys. Sorry, something happened. I am reading from something and closed. The sex scenes were good, no complaints. I like the tango that is supposed to be a metaphor for the sex that was going on, and it was really, really hard. I like that. That was very, very well done. There was clearly blocking in this movie. Some Nigerian movies don't do blocking. Block. It's. I should also say that Tyler Perry also doesn't do blocking in his movies. So I can't say Nigerian movies don't do blocking. So American movies don't do blocking too. Um, Performances are very, very good. Chris Oris, his deep voice and the way he delivered some of the dialogue, he stole my heart. I'm just like, oh, stop talking, please, stop. Alex Okubo, good looking, very good looking man. Also did very well too. I'm always happy to see Alex Okubo. I used to dislike his acting, but he's improved leaps and bounds, and I'm always happy to see him. Um, Inse is Inse, wonderful, beautiful, great performance. Works for accent. This type of character works for the accent that she now has. Um, and it's just wonderful. She's um wonderful. The Kore, I was in love with the Kore in this movie. It reminds me of I don't know if anybody has seen this Men Cry. And this is the opposite of characters that Dakore used to play in the olden days, but like Dakore, wonderful, just beautiful acting. I'm almost done. The story, I've already said the story if he feels that genre, and I think that the the writing shines in the in the floating dialogue. That's where the writing of this, I think the writer shines. Like the when they are floating and when they are talking about like the floating thing, it really is wonderful, and also because of the delivery of it and beautiful people, beautiful shots. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Inka. All right, that's I think bang on actually. I think that's Cynthia's back. All right, Cynthia, please tell us some of the things you enjoyed about A Sunday Affair.
Well, okay. From beginning, I actually liked his Ebony Life soundtrack, and and this because the last time I heard is Ebony Life was from Election Obas, so I knew what I was going into. I'm so sure Vanessa have said this. I like Alex Ekubo swimming. It's also another scene in a movie that reminded me or that mocked me that I need to go and learn how to swim. I like the intro scene. I liked the setting up of Toyin and Uche's friendship. From when they were children to teenagers to university. In fact, I actually liked when they were like, fuck that boy or fuck this boy, sisters forever, whatever they said there. And that's why this movie doesn't make sense because that sisterhood was lacking after that scene. Um, I like the male lead. And by the male lead, I'm talking about the yellow Porsche car. I felt the yellow Porsche car really worked very hard for its rental fee because they kept showing us all angles of the car. The first time I saw the car, I saw Porsche. I was like, okay, okay. And every time that car appeared on my screen, I see the left, the right, the front, the back, and I was like, nah, this is our real male lead, and it's working very hard for his rental fees. Um, I felt Twins' character had passable attires. I mean, if we're to compare a wig and a work dresses, it's not as bad as Uche's own. And if I were to pick the worst of the worst acting, it would be Toyin, that was played by Dakore. This movie had a lot of parallel scenes. Like people have said the tango dance and the sex scene, happy and sad. Well, but the only one I really liked was when Alex Ukubo's character asked the guy who he liked, and they cut it. And with the way the movie has been going, you would have expected Toyin. But anyway, after that scene, they showed the two women when they were talking. I was like, okay, this is fine. Then finally, this movie did something special to me. So because I knew I was going to watch this movie, I didn't make dinner, and I ordered a good dinner. I usually do reward myself. I practice delayed gratification. When I attain something, I reward myself with good meal. But knowing that I was going to watch this movie, I was willing to like spend that money to like, just buy good food. And yeah, I don't regret it. And that's it.
All right, thanks, Cynthia. All right. Sorry. Yes, food. Okay. All right. This is why you guys have 5 minutes. You don't have anything to say. Is that you do? Anyway,
Why are you giving me?
Adebi, please tell us some of the things you liked about a Sunday affair. We're doing the good. I don't know if this is your first time on Nollywood Film Club. I'm sorry. Adebi, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there, man. I'm there. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So tell us some of the things you liked about a Sunday affair.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, man. It's good. It's definitely a good thing, man. I mean, I live in London and I just love Nollywood, man. The depictions and everything about that. You know, the Sunday Affair is a really good story. I like the way it's filmed, everything like that, really, you know. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, you know, Nollywood's brilliant, man, you know. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit down and yeah, I'll listen to what everyone else has to say.
All right. Thanks, Ade. All right, Pauline, please tell us some of the things you liked about a Sunday affair.
Thank you for giving me the mic. Well, actually, I really love everything about the movie. I won't lie, because if this was an American movie, maybe made by Tyler Perry or so, we would be enjoying it and praising him. But you know, this film, the plots are really plotting, and then the angle that two friends, you know, two deep friends, you know, best friends, fought for the same guy, and it's a story I really, because when I saw the synopsis, I said, "How can this be? Let me see what they will do," and then explaining the sisterhood right from the beginning, you know, the characters and the male lead. And then the storyline is super. But you know, in Nigeria here, we try to like criticize scene to scene, stuff to stuff. I can I can only enjoy a movie when the storyline is good and when the really the production, the post production, and everything is top notch. I mean, the cinematography is not so bad. The acting is still on point. So I see no reason why people should say maybe this film is blah 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 like that. For me, this is good. I mean, a lot of Hollywood films that we watch, like the one that just, I mean, that just got out, I mean, last week or so, You People was then the movie. I mean, it's just a simple story. I bet it if any producer right here or any production company right here, I mean, shoot that movie, it will be a disaster here because the story is not that great. But this particular one, the way they've explained it, I mean, two friends, one really has a good job, and one it's a big girl with a big god, and then Chief is threatening him. It's not that maybe she's fighting back. They let us know that, I mean, she has this down low of her life, and then both of them didn't really have a man going for them, and you know, the story, everything. So I really love what they did with the movie. But when it came out, you know, maybe it's because it's Ebony Life stuff. I really don't want to watch it too. But I felt that no, it's not like that. You have to watch a film before you criticize it. So most people say a film is not good, and then when you get to watch it, you might enjoy it. So at times it's what you see online on Twitter, on Instagram. I mean, the first people that just say, "Wow, this thing." So it is what it is. So I really enjoy the movie, and then the storyline is good for me. I don't know if anybody says otherwise, but it's their own opinion. But for me, the storyline is top notch. The cinematography is not that bad. The character development is good. I mean, the plot are plotting. So what else can you really enjoy in a movie? I mean, films don't get better than this. And the aspect of this rom-com, I don't know, it's not like all this fancy rom-com that you like. I mean, it's another angle entirely. The way they look at the ending. So for me, I mean, it's still a win-win. I mean, kudos to the to Ebony Live and Netflix. Thank you.
Thanks for that. Probably spent a little long talking about why people shouldn't find any fault with it, rather than saying the things that you liked about it. But that's fine. If you hang around, if you hang about people, you hear what people don't like about it, and if you have an issue, please feel free to push back. But thanks for contributing, Polan. Omar Dudu, please tell us the things you liked about Yes on the Affair.
Okay, good evening. I think I like his performance. Not like great, but I think it's better than what we've been seeing recently. I like the cinematography, the aesthetic. I like it, not everything. What else do I like? I think I like some of the costume, some a part of the costume, not everything. That's all. I think that's what I like. His performance is the only thing that stands out for me. Not everything.
Okay, all right. Mr. C, I know you're not at your strongest at this point, but if you can tell us some of the things you liked about It's on the Affair.
Okay, so I mentioned it earlier, but I really liked that scene with the flashback scene to when they were little kids, and Uche shows up with Toyin to her house, and the mom yells at her and then yells at Toyin to join her. I thought that was really sweet. I thought the little girls were very sweet as well, but that scene was really sweet. Then what else did I like? Unsa and Korea, such beautiful women, and I do love the idea of women in their 40s falling in love, right? I'm glad we kind of moved away from the, oh my God, I'm 30, I need to find a husband romantic trope. So I liked that. That was nice. The wedding dress in the opening scene was beautiful. Also, nudity in this, I thought fit with the movie. Also, it's nice to see a man's bum on screen, not because I'm a perv, but because we've just come off Shantytown and the like, right? And it's just, okay, good, we're nude, right? No one's protecting the man's nudity. It's just there in the film and the scene. So I thought that was fine as well. I think that's about it for me.
Okay, I'm just going to read just the one comment, but like you can comment using either hashtag Nollywood Film Club or just comment underneath this space. So Still Human says, I liked the friendship between the women. I also liked that the leads were 40 plus, and I loved the car, aka the main lead. But maybe it's something I'm missing. Anyway, all right. So the things I liked. So I liked, there's something I found very endearing about the story. I like that we went to a place where we essentially had a protagonist who is kind of a promiscuous woman. And the film doesn't judge her in it. The only person who sort of condemns her is basically a vile man that we all know is a vile human being. And so like, there's no condemnation from anybody else. Maybe Dakare talks about it from a other people's husband type of thing, but it's almost played for laughs, like almost like her friend. Oh, what are you like? I thought you were going to quit like sleeping around with people's husband. I'm not saying this is, obviously this will not be the goal of people, but like, it's just nice to have a morally gray person. Like obviously she changes in there, but I did like that about this film. I like that. I think this is one of Incest's better performances in a while that I've seen. I'm going to exclude 44 because 44 because I haven't seen that properly, but I think that might be maybe another potential contender for the best performance in a while. He allowed her to give us some range where, you know, she was protective, she was vulnerable, she got angry. Gave her performance to like show range. I think sometimes that range, um, I'm not saying like it's a perfect performance. There are pockets of things that I didn't think worked at all and work range. But I think on the whole, I think this is definitely Incest one of, and this is what, okay, I wasn't crazy. Incest actually can do this, and in pockets. I think that, I'm trying to remember a specific scene. But anyway, without going too deep into that, I did like that as well. What else did I like? So, oh yeah, the conflict, right? So this thing where they're both dating and seeing Sunday, but they can't tell each other. The reason why they can't tell each other makes sense, and that's as opposed to who? That's your problem. The reason why they don't tell each other makes perfect sense to me. Inse is is feeling a little bit betrayed by Sunday, not after their one night fling not really being a bit continuing. I think she invited him for the arts thing, if I remember this. Yeah, she didn't see him there, so she's feeling a little let down by that. And also, we know why Dakar doesn't want to say to Inse. Yeah, because she's being a little raggedy, and it's you don't want to probably do that until you're sure it's going a little somewhere. So that makes sense. And also, Inse doesn't even push her. Inse goes, "Hey, I need to know this guy in a week, right?" That gives her a little bit of free time to maneuver. So that's one thing. Honestly, I haven't seen us do well in a very long time. So it was nice to see that happen. And overall, generally, the story, I've seen it done, but not often in Nollywood.
Are you seeing the intention?
No. I'm talking about original, in terms of the originality of the type of story we're doing. It's not about the intention. Mm-hmm. We've banned seeing the intention. Okay. But yeah, I think generally
this is not original.
I think generally that is why this sort of works for us. So like somebody who likes the story, I get that. So yeah, on a broad scale, I like a lot of the story beats. When we get to the bad, we'll talk about what didn't work a lot for me. But yeah, also nice seeing Hilda, I think. So yeah, that's me. All right. If you do want to comment, hashtag Nollywood Film Club, or comment underneath the space, I'll read it out. We're going to pivot into the bad. Let's start with who came first. Jeez, my brain. Otas, I think.
Yes, sir. Okay. My main bad is that I didn't find that there was very much chemistry between Sunday and either of the women, and for that reason, I also didn't like the sex scene. It just felt like they were acting a sex scene, and I think it was because he just didn't have any chemistry with anyone, and I don't know if it was the actor, but I will refrain, I guess, from speaking on that. I also didn't like the character Sunday. I hate that we revolved this movie around him. I just didn't think he was great or a great person. I just didn't see how. I mean, I guess we all make dumb dating decisions, but I just didn't see how these two great women decided that this was their great love. Like, he knowingly dated the two of them, and I just felt like that was a little bit unforgivable. I think if he hadn't known that they were best friends, that might have, if he hadn't known going in that they were best friends, that might have maybe, I don't know, softened him as a character. But he just seemed selfish, and the entire movie really just doing whatever he wants. But yeah, I guess the last dislike is that I thought it was a bit of a cop out to not have them just be a throuple. Like at the end of the movie, it just felt like they were pretty much all dating each other, and say it was more or less in all their dates or at their house or they were traveling together. I just should have just gone all the way there. But that's mostly it.
Thank you. I agree.
I can't lie. I subscribe to that throuple ending. I would have preferred that. But but thanks for us. Yeah. So like Atas doesn't also like the main guys didn't think he had chemistry with anyone. Fair enough. All right. Okay. And Fi, do you want to tell us?
Yeah, sure. Okay, so my first dislike, Toyin's disregard for wanting a baby after meeting Akin. I mean, I didn't feel like it was realistic to have had this plan to get artificially inseminated or what she was going to do, and then meet him and then just decide, oh, I'm not going to do this anymore, and wait and see what's going on with him. That didn't make sense to me. The next one was Akin's lack of self-control and indecisiveness. I wrote here, come on. Why was Akin's wife and a child an extra storyline? At least he could have been divorced. Is it realistic to want to seriously date and marry when you're yet to complete your divorce? I would have preferred Akin to have been divorced for a while or for him to be a bachelor because that would have been less messy. I would have loved for it to be that it wasn't a choice between Uche and Toyin, but more of Uche and Toyin choosing themselves. I didn't like to buy that Toyin's will to live was attached to Akin. I really would have loved for her to go ahead with her baby as an initially and hold on to her friendship with Uche. I feel like Toyin's character should have been more resistant to liking Akin, especially as she said that she wasn't interested in men. The sudden shift to accommodate and revolve her will to live around him was a letdown for me. I was heartbroken when she went on a vacation with him in her last moments. It would have been sweeter if it was spent with Uche. That's why when she wanted to wait for Uche to arrive before her delivery, I was like, you left her first, you know? I also didn't like the scene where they were having dinner and Toyin asked Uche about the man she was seeing in front of Akin. First of all, Uche doesn't know Akin like that, supposedly. Why discuss that so freely in front of him, you know? It's something that some women tend to do, which is tell their man their friend's business. I didn't like that scene. I didn't like the wigs. I didn't like the accents. Even in the hospital when Toyin went to the clinic and the woman she was talking to, I was like, wow, is everybody faking the accents in this film? I don't know if we learnt about Toyin's family. I don't know if we missed info on her background, but I'd have loved to know a bit more because it seemed as if Uche is the one that had all of that. And I don't think I heard anything about Toyin's background. I didn't like that Akin didn't have strong will. The fact that he found it difficult to be straightforward and direct. I really would have loved him to have a stronger character. I mean, obviously, these are grown people. I would have loved that element of what's the right word? Just a difference in this character as a man, you know, not just the usual, oh, I'm about to get divorced. My wife is like, you can't even behave yourself in this wedding for a short period of time. I'd have loved for him to have been concrete, not messy. Lastly, Uche's sponsor slash investor, I felt like the relationship was strange. Isn't it more ideal and realistic that your investor is someone that you can't stand? I didn't get that, and I thought that the dynamic could have been written better. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Fi. Always able to give us these notes well in time. Who are we having next? Is
It's
the High Priestess?
Vanessa, please. Can we not do this?
You were not actually second. The High Priestess came on before. Oh wait, okay. That's true. Okay,
Sorry.
I'm already like angry because it seems like I'm supposed to be the villain tonight. But I guess we'll begin. 10 years. 10 years. In the press release coverage before this film was released, Mabudu said the idea for this film was marinating in her head for 10 years. 10 years. All I can say is Kasha Madupe. This film was dry, colorless, and I don't mean literally, and very much bland. Not the friendships or romantic relationships felt like anything but stiff and uncomfortable. And it's even more frustrating because the first couple scenes in this film at least try to establish this deep, long standing friendship between these women. And then by the time they became grown adults, all that chemistry disappeared into thin air. My next point is on earned sympathy. Unearned sympathy and Nollywood. It's it's funny because the audience says we want heart and truth and emotion from our films. And Nollywood thinks that the best way to do that is just to throw a bunch of things in the crockpot to elicit said emotion from us. And much of the time, the chosen medium is either sexual assault or cancer or whatever kind of terminal illness. And before you come for me, there's precedence even with this studio. 50 even had a double feature, cancer and sexual assault. Now, the problem is not them using terminal illnesses in their stories, but how it's used. It's very obvious that in this one, it was done to get us to feel sorry for a character who ordinarily we would not care for. Um, the reason why we don't care for her is because nothing has been done from the beginning of this story to get us to feel anything for these characters. See, I keep referring to them as characters. If these were people I cared about, I would say these people. But because there was nothing done to make them human, to humanize them, I'm completely detached from them. And so all I can see them as characters. So when that shoe dropped, I didn't move. This film was obviously intended to be a film where friendship wins and love prevails in on a platonic level. And despite the story being developed by 6 or more people, they very much bungled this. This was a story about a severely unlikable man who is inexplicably so wanted by these women. It was a chaotic mess. It's cheating on cheating, where cheating is sort of not the point. I like how everybody who's been speaking has been talking about how Sunday was a dog for not being able to choose between these two women. When the initial infidelity, Sunday cheating on his wife at a wedding where she was at, is very quickly pushed to the side, and not just by the writers, but also by these women who were very much involved in this initial infidelity. It's so easily swept under the carpet by both Toyin and Uche for it to be the main plot that he's cheating on both these women. Um, I don't understand how that tracks, because if it's already been established that this man is a cheating dog, why does it matter that he's cheating on both these two women, and why is that the central plot of this film? Um, my next one is the quantum leaps that were made in this film. Um, the first time we meet Tony and what's his face on the train. Well, no, that's not the first time we meet them. The first time we meet them is at the wedding, and it was sort of said to us that Tony did not like him. And then in 2 scenes or less, Toyin is pretty much half in love with this man. But that's not the quantum leap that bothered me the most. It was established that Uche and Sunday, or as sometimes he's called, Akin, I don't know, had a sexual relationship. That was pretty much all it was set out to be, right? That's all they ever gave us for both these people. We could even say the way it was portrayed to us, Toyin and Akin had a more emotional relationship than Uche and Sunday did, right? They only met up in her gallery to have sex.
Right.
So imagine
Right.
my shock. I'm sorry, what?
30 seconds.
That's your problem. Oh. Imagine my
Are you
shock. That's your personal problem, because I don't know when we move to 5 minutes. But yeah, imagine my shock when Sunday and Uche proclaim their love for each other in the hallway and proceed to pine for each other for the rest of the third act. Where did this love come from? even the so-called emotional relationship between Sunday and Toyin was so disinteresting. That conversation on the train, dreadfully cringeworthy. I don't know if it was the acting. I know it's the acting because Oris is horrible in this, or the dialogue, but it was incredibly stilted and just ox all around. And if you're going to be cutting me off, then that means I'm going to be coming back. Is that fine?
That's fine. That works fine. Thanks, Vanessa. All right. Hi, Priestess. Please tell us some things that didn't sit with you.
Yeah, so I think what Mrs. Critic's issue is world building. So if you pay attention to all the dialogue, they're only talking about the things on screen. So we don't know Toyin's story because they make passing references to that. But there's never, so like we come into a scene, you know how you're having like a totally unrelated conversation and then you bring it back to what they really want us to hear. There was none of that. It's like we enter each scene and it's always specifically about this relationship. So the world building that's where the flatness comes from, because I kept thinking, why is this the only thing they have to talk about? Like, we don't know. Tony was a terrible businessman, by the way, but sorry, I'm mixing them up. Am I? I don't even care. But yeah, so the world building was bad, and
a lot of the actor's name. I don't remember.
It was Uche. Dakore's character was
okay. Uche is
Princess character was Uche.
Very
It's
good.
Uche that was a bad businesswoman.
All right.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. See, I'd like really know anything about the outside of this love triangle. So that was where the flatness for me came from, because it's like with rich dialogue, you can actually fill in all the holes. This guy was not charming enough to pull off any of this. Gotten somebody with like proper charm. The idea is that the audience falls in love with him and we excuse all this nonsense. So you're looking at an annoying person on screen doing annoying things and you're wondering what the hell is wrong with these women. So yeah, he wasn't charming enough for all of that. Sorry, I don't have light, so this is weird for me. Okay, no chemistry. Chemistry tests are a thing. I know we don't have enough actors for us to be making we don't have that many options in terms of actors in that age range. It's a problem. Casting one of my films was a nightmare and the film came out nonsense because I couldn't find anybody. So yeah, that's no chemistry. I feel like that third act was ripped up from somewhere. I feel like I had seen that before, because I remember as the story was going along, I was like, ideally, I would love a case where both women, like we find out, he's playing them both, they kick him out and make the love story about the friendship. Like they come back together, blah, 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 and move on. And I was like, it's either they do that or she dies. And lo and behold, she dies. Makes everything very neat, go on top, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I do feel that third act was too familiar. Especially there was the line about stealing. She stole stole the last few months for herself or something. That line literally it came from somewhere, and I don't have the time to look for it, but it will come to me eventually. I feel like that the whole entire third act was ripped off because it was too familiar. One more thing. Yeah, I hate the name. Like, we could have done better with the name. Everything else I hate is stuff people will pick on anyway, so that's it for me.
All right, thanks, High Priestess. I think the name is Sunday's Affair. He doesn't have a lot. A Sunday Affair. It doesn't. He's not
clever.
The main character.
Rom-coms are supposed to be clever and witty. Okay, it's not a rom-com actually. That was another problem I had. I don't know why it was marketed as a rom-com. It's a romantic drama. Anyway, the name was shit.
Yeah. I don't know whether I wonder whether what's it called? Beach? Is it Beaches?
Yeah, it was Beaches.
Yeah, we got recommended a film called Beaches. And Beaches is a film about two women who, when they were kids, they meet on a beach, and they form this bond, and they grow up, lose in touch, come back together, but they've always been keeping in touch, and then one of them well, they later fall in love with the same with the same guy, and then one person ends up. They both sleep. Well, one person sleeps with him, but like one person else marries him. But like things happen. That one gets divorced. She later, one of the friends later gets sick with a type of cancer, and then it wasn't a type of cancer.
No, it was a heart condition.
All right, okay. It gets a heart condition.
I remember that scene, but I know it was too familiar. It just made me uneasy.
Gets a heart condition and has a child, and then dies and wills the child to her best friend. But that film, it's very clear what that film is about in terms of it's about the woman's friendship. In that film. Like that, the man is very much
was a blip.
castigated, pushed to the side. But I don't know whether that's where this came from or whether it's inspired by, but it's certainly has been done. Beaches, if anyone wants to watch it, it made Mrs. C cry. So whatever.
Everything makes me cry.
All right. I'm just going to go to Frances Veronica just quickly to check if she had pushback, because I think she asked, "Is this the same movie?" When somebody was talking, I think
I think they're pushing back on the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. But Frances Veronica, did you have something you wanted to push back quickly? If not, I'm going to have to go back to the queue of the way things have been answered. But Frances Veronica, do you have something you wanted to say? All right. Okay. Who did we have next? I think it was Oyinka. Is it Oyinka? Yeah. All right. We'll go with Oyinka. Oyinka, please tell us some things you didn't particularly like about it Sunday.
Okay. I feel like you should have called me first because some people have already said it. Okay. Negatives. I wrote it up. The production at the end was kind of getting shit. It really shows. Okay, as Vanessa said, I get that Inuse is a promiscuous something character thing. This movie does not shame her, but also, why does he love her? He literally says it was about sex, and the movie doesn't show any like the flirting or the something or the. Vanessa said that was one of my like negative. Another negative is that they should have shown Toyin. Toyin met our friend, saw our friend. I thought she saw her friend because the way they were shooting that scene, I'm like, she's going to see them, and they didn't show her seeing them. And then let me just read what I wrote. Toyin saw our friend and a man cheating, right? Don't show us the emotions of that. Even if she's not going to show our friend anger and she's not going to show it, they should at least visualize. They should have visuals of her emotions. Like let us see how that she came to at the end. Actually react. They didn't show that. So thing was like, oh yeah, that was what I was saying. It seems that all that was in service of the twist. And I think something people get wrong in like media, especially in Nollywood, not even in Nollywood too. A twist does not necessarily have to come at the end of the story. It doesn't have to come at the very, very end. That's ridiculous. Your twist can be a twist. Your twist can come in the middle. It doesn't come at the beginning, but it can come in the middle. It can space that is not necessarily just the beginning, because it can be a twist at the beginning. It has to be a twist after something is being built up. It doesn't have to come. It undermined this thing, and that's why they didn't show Toyin's emotions or left out the characters were definitely following the beat story structure of the movie, of like of the writer's story structure, where the writer wanted it to end, right? The characters just follow the beat of that. Like they didn't. You can know your end and build your characters, actions and stuff, and emotion everything to meet that end. But instead, your characters are just doing whatever just to go to the end, and it doesn't flow. Now, this one, my other negative is not necessarily, but like a decision that I would have made to fit the themes of the movie, thematic something that the movie set off. This is some of the things I would have made. One, I will have given more of a visual of what forged the friendships between the two as the backbone of the story. But instead, in this movie, it seemed that it is Sunday that is the sort of backbone of the story. We see a lot of Sunday's perspective than the two women's perspective, and Sunday is charming, but it's not charming enough to be to for us for the viewers to forgive. Is clearly out and out cheating, like just clearly out and out cheating. Like he goes to a wedding with his wife and he's cheating. He was flirting with other women that wasn't necessarily even Toyin and Uche. And it's just like we can't your first introduction to how you going to expect us, and it's just not charming enough. I don't think they should have built it on that. They should have done it more on the friends something. The painting, why keep painting some random bonsai tree? Why did the bonsai tree came? What is the meaning of the bonsai tree? What is it supposed to represent? What is the symbolism of the bonsai tree? In this type of romantic drama, this is a romantic drama where there is an affair, people do affair shit things. It has to be very charming people because people have to exactly forgive the
30
nonsense.
seconds.
Thank you, the nonsense. But it was a random. The painting should have been the pair that was met, the pair where he goes to meet her when she has cancer, important to both of them, and the painting should have been that. And the last shot, the very, very last shot painting, should have been focused on that painting, not on some random painting that came out of nowhere. If you're going to make a team to make something, this type of movie, yes, there's ants, there's all that, there's all cheat, they do all this, it's that, but like you also have to know how to make the movie, not just the ending. You know the ending, you can copy and paste the endings of this type of movies, but you also have to like show the journey. People don't sit down just for the ending, people sit down for the journey. Done.
All right, thanks, Oyenka. All right, I wonder how much.
One more thing. I want to apologize for that.
No, wait. We'll come back. There are people in the queue, please. Who was next? Is it Timmy? Is it Timmy? Frank, if you have pushback, we'll come to you in a bit. Timmy, please, what do you not like about Sunday Affair?
So again, I'm just going to say this. I've not finished the movie, so I'm just going to, see what I don't like from the first 62 minutes, I think. Okay, so first of all, I didn't like the character of Sunday. Maybe I would have disliked him less if they gave us an understanding to why he's a serial cheater. And even though, yeah, for sure, there's really no justification to be such a shitty person towards your wife, but maybe I would have had some sort of sympathy or some sort of empathy towards him if I could have understood why he was behaving the way he was behaving. Also, we didn't even get to understand why he had the divorce because that wasn't even explored. He just told Tony that he had cultural differences with his wife. What exactly is that supposed to mean? That's like the most half-ass excuse that anyone could ever think of. I mean, he could have just said that he was an ashewo or something like that, and we will understand. Also, this also means that he is a cheater in the film, not necessarily because he's a cheater, but because the film requires him to be a cheater. Again, because his entire cheating personality is like they just brought it there. Not only was it unnecessary, not only was it not properly explored, not only was it okay, I think I'll just stop. What else? There was really nothing special to like about Sunday, to be honest. I mean, yeah, I'll not lie, the guy is fine, 100% fine. But there really wasn't anything charismatic about him that would make me understand why Toyin fell in love with him or why Uche fell in love with him. Even in the relationship with Toyin, it felt like as if Toyin was the one putting effort into the relationship because she was excited to be in the relationship. Sunday just felt like he was given the vibe like, okay, he was just with Tony because he just wanted to cheat. Like, it just didn't make sense. Also, sometimes the dialogue was taking me out, but although I'm going to salute the person who wrote Sunday's lines when he was in the train with Tony, because I think that scene was given 100% raise. But other than that, the dialogue in the rest of the film was taking me out. Also, Incest's eyes in the film were scaring me. Maybe it was the makeup, maybe it was the overall look with the hair, because the hair kept on reminding me of the hair that what's her name again? Anne Hathaway was wearing in this Roald Dahl movie, The Witches. That was what that hair on Uche was giving me. And so the entire makeup, the hair, the look, it wasn't for me at all. Also, like I said again, I didn't finish it, so I really don't know how well this character was explored. But Sam was underutilized because he seemed like he was the perfect antagonist for this type of film. But, with the 60 minutes that I have seen in the film, he wasn't giving the villainy that he was supposed to give. Another thing that I didn't like about Sam was the fact that in the scene where Uche was preparing for her stuff with her art gallery, Sam was kind of giving me rapist vibes, and that was just very uncomfortable to watch. What else? What else? What else? Tony was like at the beginning of the film. Tony was like, "Oh, I'm done with men. This, that." But somebody talks to you on the train, and boom, you're in love with him. Like I said earlier, I mean, it's understandable why she kind of did the things why she was, having the dinner with Sunday because she was drunk. So it kind of makes sense why maybe she would have maybe fallen in love with him then. But then again, it just didn't feel realistic because someone was talking about a quantum time jump, I think, and that's exactly what I think happened here. Because not only was there no chemistry in the relationship, not only was what's his name, Sunday not even convincing enough to be someone that is able to pull off Toyin, because Toyin has already made up her mind that she is not, into men anymore. So what exactly was so special about Sunday that made Toyin fall in love with Sunday so quickly? Um, Another thing is Toyin, like I said, Toyin wasn't very good at, keeping to her words in this movie because, like I said earlier,
30 seconds.
I'm not done.
If you round up, you can
Okay.
come back.
Okay. So I didn't really like Alex Ilubo in this as well. Even with the sisterhood thing, that wasn't really explained. They just gave us two scenes, maybe two shots of them at the beach. The whole friendship thing, we didn't really understand that. That wasn't explored. And I think I'll just come back.
All right. Thanks to me. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I get that. But 5 minutes. You guys can do. I believe in you. I believe in your administration, guys. So we can do it. But if not, we'll come back to you. Let me just read some of the comments. Newbie Kekere says, "Thank you. Nollywood needs to stop using cancer and sexual assault as plot devices." I love this speaker. I think that was for Vanessa. Vanessa says it's their go for unearned sympathy, eternal illness, and sexual violence against women. I'm sick and tired of it. Kende says the film is like a secondary school student who copies his colleague in the exam hall and copies the colleague's name. It's funny. I don't know what you're referencing there. Is it Beaches? Because yes, I know that movie is. It has similar things, but I think it just. I mean, like if I was trying to copy it, it definitely failed massively. But I think it was just inspired by it at some level. All right, okay.
I think Cynthia.
Oh, wow, you're thinking for me. Okay, anyways. So I was going to start with you people. I just want to say that the person that spoke about you people, I watched 15 minutes of you people slept off and I never went back to it. So it's not like we hate Nollywood or we're over criticizing Nollywood. Well, to start with, I dislike the wigs in this movie, and even though Uche's wig was the worst, when I heard Toyin had cancer, I hoped that she lost the hair so that we will stop saying the wig. Um, I don't know if I felt Nse was miscasted, or should I say the makeup and costume made her too old. They literally wanted her to look 40 plus. I don't know. I really don't know what they did to her, but it made her too old. And for some reason, our character Uche was supposed to convince me she was a baddie in some ways, and I didn't get that vibes from her. I disliked the male lead acting. It was too stiff, and it was not slick for what they wanted us to believe it was pulling. His character did not grow at all in this movie, and they kept telling him what to do. Brother, promise me you will break up. I promise you. So throughout the movie, because I kept telling him what to do, you don't even believe that he actually liked any of the women or he felt anything because of that thing of telling him keep doing this, keep doing this. I felt the dialogue in this movie sounded like a teenage Disney movie. Um, they had this old pinky swear, promise me, and everything. And I was wondering, these guys are 40 plus. Why do they sound like that? And to make it worse, there was this sound they used in this movie. I think it used to come out as pleasant sound or something like that, that goes yeah, 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 or something. And that sound really annoyed me when I was watching this movie. And it did not help that Akin or Sunday voice was somehow high pitched. I actually thought it didn't have Akin's voice was high pitched with that particular sound. I don't know what the sound name is that they were using. It just felt like they were going to pause and Akin was going to start singing and they would dance. But even if they did that, I mean, it would have been A plus for me because from the beginning I felt they were giving me a Disney teenage movie with their dialogue. Um, I felt they failed a lot in some of the awkward or confrontation scenes, like we saw Edo's character going to confront her husband. What did she even say? What are you doing here? And I was wondering what she was doing. I was wondering what she was doing because there was nothing happening in that scene. So what are you confronting? Okay, and also the awkward scene in the elevator with the whole two characters looking and they were trying to kiss. I just felt it failed woefully because an awkward scene is cute when we love the two characters or when we have bought into the two characters' romance or something, and when they try to kiss and someone stops them, you feel the cuteness and the awkwardness. This was just off, and so many other things. Anyways, my final dislike because I don't have strength to come back again. I was angry the two women settled for Sunday because it was shit. Okay, I throughout the movie, I did not understand why they set it for him. I was cracking my head. There was nothing. Nothing. It was someone that they kept telling what to do. He did not know what to do. It's not even like he was rich. I was like, okay, except for my Porsche car that did a better male lead job than him. I did not see like I don't even know. Like I was okay when the white Oibo man came to give Uche the money. I felt maybe it came from Sunday, so maybe there was something there, but it was actually Toyin. So I kept cracking my head why they really settled for this guy. And even when the movie called him an eligible bachelor, I was questioning if he was an eligible bachelor. But I don't even know. Like I was really hot because as I said in my I like the first scene where they were in university and they were like, fuck that boy, sisterhood and everything. And when the thing was going on, I was expecting to see fuck this man, sisterhood and everything. And I don't know. I think that was my biggest disappointment. Their friendship and settling for Sunday, that I didn't even know what he was doing.
30
And
seconds.
yeah, oh, and yeah, that's it for me. Like, I don't have much to say. I came to listen. That's it for me. Wow.
All right. Thanks, Cynthia. Sorry, little hosting issues. All right. I see some people are on the queue. Sorry, there's just the speaker I think is currently full, but we'll get you on. I'm sorry if we kick you out, you can always come back on. If you want to volunteer going down as well, then I don't have to remove somebody, but I'll bring you back up, I promise. All right. Before we move on, Francis Frank, did you have pushback? You had your hand up at some point, or is it you just wanted to speak? If not, we go to yeah.
I wanted to speak.
Okay, just speaking. Just give. I think Ahmad Dudu, and then we'll go to the latecomers. Sorry. All right, Ahmad Dudu, please go ahead. I think Ahmad Dudu did come out, to be honest.
Yeah. So I think I'll start from the bottom of my list so that I won't repeat things people have been saying. So I'll talk about the cervical cancer, the stage 3 cervical cancer. So when someone has stage 3 cervical cancer, the complications would have started setting in, like urinary incontinence, foul smelling, vaginal discharge. Not even the person will be smelling. I was just wondering that the next thing they told you have stage 3 cervical cancer and you're pregnant, and the next thing you went to the gym. I don't think they did their research concerning that kind of cancer that they said Toyin has. I think next time when you are writing medical conditions, you need to ask people, ask doctors. I think almost everybody will know a doctor. Just ask doctors, like, how do these people present, kind of. And I think I'm done with Nollywood trying to like come up with cancer to like push a story. If you want to give us a chronic condition, start giving us hints from the beginning of your story, and not just get to the third act and all of a sudden your character has cancer or your character has one kind of chronic condition, and you want us to sympathize with them, because they were doing everything for us to sympathize with Toyin. Even when they were trying to make her like the good girl kind of thing, they were trying to make us sympathize with her. They could have just pushed for the plot would have pushed forward with that cancer. Even the pregnancy, she could be carrying another person's baby and still be in love with that guy. So, and yes, when she said they should wait for Toyin to fly in from Nigeria to South Africa, maybe I didn't get that part. They were in South Africa, right?
Yeah, they were in South Africa.
Looking forward to flying, because I was like, maybe Toyin is not maybe Uche is not a Nigerian citizen, because I am sure she has a Nigerian passport. So how was she able to book tickets, get visa, and do everything? That part, I didn't understand that part. Maybe because I'm poor. I don't know. And the sex scene in Uche's office, because it was in the afternoon when Uche's personal assistant came and announced that Sunday is around, and I was sure they started having sex in the afternoon inside that office, and it is an open office with the glass demarcation, everything. And I'm sure they continued that till evening. It was already dark. So I was worried that part, what happened? How will you be having sex in the glass office? And so the wigs, at some point I was expecting them to change the wigs. Like, when are these people going to change their wigs? I didn't understand though. Maybe they were trying to make it look like their natural hair, but because I remember Uche, she took off wig, and she was having a bath and she took off her wig. So I was wondering why they would not change their wig, considering they are rich, their class. So they could do better with that. And Alex Kubo asking Sunday to end things with both of them. At some point, it felt repetitive. Like he was saying it over and over. It was tiring for me. The extras performances were kind of bad, especially that sauna scene. The extras were kind of like they could just do that, gossip about them without looking at them, pretend. But the dramatic performance there was bad. The accents. I think people can be rich and be professionals. You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, and you still speak like Nigerians. Rich people speaks like they are rich people. They speak like Nigerians, so you can be rich and still speak like Nigerians. Um. Okay, I think I'm going to um. I'll start talking about things people have said already. The characters were unlikable. Like,
30 seconds.
how many how many seconds do you have a play?
30 seconds. I always do 30 seconds, man.
Unlikable. Especially the guy, he was very unlikable. I think they would have just do without the part of about his wife. Like we could just know he's divorced and we don't know his wife. So he's trying to like find someone to fall in love with, or because they presented him as like a player. He's a player. And that was how I felt about the character. So the part of the cheating part on his wife, they could do without it. So for now, that's all I have to say.
All right, thanks so much, Juju. Okay, some more comments have come in. We are doing the bad section at the moment. Kane, oh no. Inuka says, I think the worst things about this film is that it takes itself too seriously. This could have been a cheesy rom-com and be a much better watch. It wants so bad to seem like it has heart when literally anyone can tell that the heart is lacking. Speaking to that, like even tying that with something that Omar Dudu said with the sauna scene. It's crazy that, like I was saying, I think Toyin, right? That's Dakora's character. She locks these people in the sauna and turns up, and increases the temperature and throws away the key. Like that's attempted murder. That's attempted murder. Like I think these are the kind of things that that in rom-coms in previous rom-coms you see, and they throw in there, but like because of the tone, you go ha 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 ha. And by the way, even though you might ha ha ha, then in 2023, watching back, then you go, this is crazy behavior. But in a turn where we're going to talk about cancer, if you lock people in a sauna and turn up the heat and throw away the key, that's just jail time. I mean, she's dead, but I think you can still convict people anyway. But thanks. Some more comments. Tito says Cynthia said the Porsche was a better male lead than Sunday. Emotional damage. All right. And Adeayo says, honestly, they didn't explain why he was a cheat or explain his divorce. And when Alex brought up the issue of mother, like that was why he was a cheat. I didn't get that. You did? Oh yeah. I just completely forget Alex Akubo is in this film, to be honest. All right. Francis Frank, what did you want to say?
Good evening, guys. Good evening.
You didn't do the good with us, so feel free to say both the good and.
No, I don't want to do the good. Please, I don't like this movie. I'm sorry. I don't know why everybody's camper. I really do not like the movie at all. I saw we had like 1, 5, 6 script writers. I was like, all of you, this is what you guys could come up with. I don't talk about the wig. I don't talk about the Sunday. I can't remember the character's name, but I'll use like their real name. Let me just pick random things. I do not know why they traveled to South Africa. I don't know, from nowhere. I just saw, let's have a vacation, and then they traveled. Like why are they traveling? And you didn't involve your friend. And then I don't know why they traveled. Like I was surprised. I just feel like because it's Ebony life, um um aesthetics would be good, costume would be good, and she loves putting travel in a movie, so we always see travel in a movie, and that's why she wanted. That's why they did the travel thing. And what again? I can't remember these people. I spoke about the travel. I don't know why she was going to Ibadan for the IVF thing, and then when she got pregnant, I don't know if not everybody noticed it. And when she got pregnant, she was not going to Ibadan anymore. She was video calling I think I video calling her doctor, and then the doctor was like, "Oh, they did not know you were going through that treatment." I don't even understand what was happening there. I thought she was going to like I just feel they wanted to show us that okay, now train now move from Lagos to Ibadan. I can go to Ibadan and come back that same day. That was why they did the train thing, because it didn't add to the story. And then you're going for IVF. If you want to do IVF or whatever, they will check your body and they would have known or seen that you have cancer before you got to stage 3. And then all of a sudden, maybe because of the illness, you're not traveling anymore, and your doctor is asking you, they did not know, like that period. I didn't even understand. I thought maybe the wig they wanted to, maybe her hair would have they remove the hair, because it's stage 3. That stage 3 is, yeah, very bad. You can't walk. You're going through chemo. I don't know how you were having sex when you are that sick. You're going through chemo and you are having sex. You're going to the gym. I didn't like the story. I just feel I don't know. I didn't like the story at all. I don't know what they did there. I was so tired watching the movie. I can't remember. I didn't like Alex's character. I don't know. He's not a great actor to me, but I just feel I don't know what it was. I don't know what he was doing in that movie. If they remove him from the story will still be great. I don't know what he was doing there. I don't know what the advice was giving. I don't know. I don't understand the advice he was giving the brother. And then the wife thing. I don't know why he had a wife. They would have just made it, maybe a bachelor, someone that didn't want to get married. And I didn't see the chemistry between the guy and Inse. I didn't see the chemistry. I didn't know they like each other. I thought maybe, I just feel like the other cancer so that we would just sympathize with Dakore. Maybe they were, that's why he's with him or with her, and then all of those things. I didn't like the movie at all. I know Ebony Life has the money to do better movies. I don't know. I just didn't like the movie at all. I didn't like the movie. I could not just relate. It was too cliche. Because I don't know why you would see your best friend, so-called best friend, having sex with your man, and you will say, "Oh, in this Nigeria," you say, "Oh my God, I don't." It's a lie. And you didn't. After that time, you didn't even you didn't react. Nothing. Yeah, I don't know that kind of love. It's too cliche for me to. I cannot even. I don't know. I didn't like the movie at all. I didn't enjoy it. I don't know why Nollywood would do a movie for 1 hour plus, and Nollywood would do a movie for 1 hour plus, even 45 minutes movie, and they'll take you on a journey. I was lost. I didn't know what was happening. I can't even say. I don't know. I'm done. I can't. I just didn't like the movie at all.
Okay. I don't think Francis Franca likes this movie. All right. Thank you. I think Shagan, you are it, and then we'll do second round, or Mrs. C. I don't know whether you're Shagan. Please tell us. You are here for the good, so again, opportunity to say the good if you want, and the bad. Are
Can you
you
hear me? Can you hear me,
are
guys?
you in a tunnel? Oh. Are you
I'm
falling down
driving.
a well?
I'm driving. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you. Please don't crash.
Okay, I would not. I'll try not to. Okay, that's good. I mean, the movie did what I think the movie just achieved what it wanted to achieve. It's a cheesy rom-com thing. I don't want to repeat any of the. I don't really have anything to say, any good thing to say about this. And I don't want to repeat most of what everybody has said. You know me, I'm just the technical guy. So I watched this. I went in watching this movie to watch this movie because I didn't really care about the story. Whatever the story is going to be, people will talk about artistic freedom and all that. I just wanted to say, okay, this production company, they are running a film school. Let me see what they have to offer in their new project. So, but speaking of the bad, for me, first of all, there were so many continuity errors. Yes, everybody has spoken about the wig. Another thing that stood out to me is makeup. I think Nollywood has to learn how to do makeup for film. We are doing makeup for glamour. We are doing wedding makeup. are doing red carpet makeup. There's this certain type of makeup you would do on people, makeup that when you wake up in the morning, that whole I woke up like this type of thing. There's this kind of makeup you put on a female. Even male, even guys wear makeup on set in film. If you check Hollywood, whether they just woke up or they are at the gym or they came out of the shower, they are wearing some kind of makeup. Their faces are not bare. So the whole people's faces bare when they just woke up and then just give me wedding makeup with bronzer and highlighter. All of it was just very crappy. The part of everybody has spoken about the cancer part, right? Yeah, but me, for the whole essay thing, even if Dakore was flying, if Instead was flying private, there's no way should have made it there in the time frame that they gave us in the movie. And then in the technical part of it, I'm always very annoyed when you just sprinkle some foreigners into the movie and everything is fine. The nurse or whoever the guy attending to Dakore was just there looking at the monitor that was the monitor that was checking her vitals. I had her vitals and all that. He was just looking at it like he was tuning a television. I don't know what he was doing there. Like he was always going back there to go and fiddle with it. I'm like, what, are you adjusting her breathing or what? It was just very somehow to me. Yeah, and that other guy, the guy that came and the other foreigner that came and said $250,000 US dollars, that didn't make sense to me at all. This movie should have even been called an Uche affair, because the number of times they called Uche's name in this film, my God. I think almost every frame they called Uche. I kept hearing Uche. It should have just been called an Uche affair. Yes, one other thing that was really, really, really annoying was the flashback. When their mother was screaming at them, where are you guys coming from? They are showing us 1999, and you are showing us brand new house in Ofola Osibo or somewhere, Likke, with electrified fence, and then you just, so that to show us that it's 1999, you just give us a dash of Mercedes-Benz 200 and Peugeot 505 in the background. Like, what the hell? Then the glass, then that has inside office, the glass windows. I don't even understand whether her attendant or her secretary, her assistant was working from home some days, and that babe just pops up randomly. I think she only popped up once or twice, because the way people kept walking into our office, nobody stops them. The way Sam kept walking, yeah, I know Sam is a major investor, but that whole Sam just walking, coming and going as he pleases was just very annoying. The sex scene, the whole thing, Nollywood now has a hard-on for displaying nudity. How you're having a quickie in the office, how did you strip down to nakedness? It was just a mess for me. What other part? Yeah, I mean, audio was passable, but
2
still
seconds.
just very, yeah, audio was passable, but still very funny. For me, it was just very disjointed. I was expecting the story here to be cheesy. I was expecting the story to not even make sense with particular points, but the technicalities of the whole thing was just messed up for me. I couldn't just take one thing away and say, okay, this is something that they did good in this film. I hope they improve. I hope they listen to us and improve. I mean, as opposed to what they normally do when we give this kind of feedback. Thank you.
All right. Thanks, Shagun. All right. We'll say our thing and then we'll do second round. And pushbacks, by the way, are always welcome now. Like I should name this the bad and pushbacks. But I like to at least get a few people to say some things out there before we start doing the pushback. But like, feel free if you think somebody here is saying rubbish, either whether you're in the audience or whether you're currently as part of the speakers, feel free to push back. All right, Mrs. C.
Okay. So, what did I not like? I think for starters, Sunday. I think a number of people have mentioned Sunday. Now, Oris is a good-looking man, right? Good-looking 50-plus man. I could see the thirst on the tail. That was great. But Sunday as a character was so unattractive. It was just baffling to me that these two women were willing to risk it all for this man. It was just absolutely baffling. So yeah, I think Sunday as a character could have been improved if we're gonna have this. And obviously now I can't stop comparing it to Beaches, right? Because yeah, whatever. Anyway, I feel like, and I could be wrong because I don't know, I wasn't there with the 6 writers that put this film together, put the story together. But it feels like the point of this is supposed to be Toyin and Uche's friendship. I feel like that's supposed to be the love story, right? They're supposed to be the soulmates. That's their end game. So Sunday played, there was too much Sunday in this film and not enough friendship, relationship, bonding. That didn't work for me. I feel like it would, yeah, whatever. Anyway, what else? Sorry, I'm a bit disorganized tonight. There were no reactions that were appropriate, right? Except Uche's reaction to finding out that her man was dating Toyin now. But like that was an appropriate reaction, right? The way she reacted to her, the crying and the covering up and then confronting him. I thought that was an appropriate reaction. But I'm seeing my man, the father of my baby, through a glass door fucking my best friend, and I go home and my take is, let me steal some of their happiness for these few months. Who does that? Who is that person? This person doesn't exist. It's not the friendship cannot survive that, right? I think it could have worked having that confrontation and the friendship surviving Sunday, right? Realizing they are the soulmates, they are the best friends. They push through with that. But no reaction at all. And I'm going to send 250K your way and I'm going to be with this man for the remaining few months and have this baby and I'm sure I'm going to die. It made absolutely no sense. And then when the letter was being read out at the end, I cackled like a witch. I thought it was hilarious. It didn't give the feelings that it was supposed to give. And it just seemed wasted. Anyway, yeah, it's just, I want to see a story. I want to see a story on friendships, right? I want to see women in their 40s falling in love, right? I want to see all of that. And we've cast these 2 absolutely stunning women and we've just given them absolute dog shit, right? As a romance to play. And that was just very disappointing for me. And yeah, I don't know. Also, I didn't really enjoy Oris. Like, I don't know. I felt like almost every line was painful for me from him. It didn't feel comfortable, I don't think. I think he was trying to play the character cool, but I could see him trying to play as a cool guy. And then I think his accent was tripping up his scene partners. So he's speaking in the accent and it's tripping them up and they're trying to respond to him and it's messing with their accents as well. So I don't know. Yeah. It's just, I feel like there was really something here. There was really something in here and it fell really flat and that was very disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. Just to, I guess, to add to some of that, my section. Yeah, I think there was a point where I was noticing people were having, not all the time, but even down to Alex Ukubo, even this is the first time I've noticed that I feel like Dakar is giving me, for me anyway, a poor performance. And it seemed like she was switching to an accent she was not comfortable with. And I think that, especially in the first half, I think she gets better towards the second half of the film. But I think that's because of Oris, the actor's American accent or whatever. But like the accents were uncomfortable at points. The bigger issues for me are the only character I kind of care about is Uche's character, and caring is kind of a strong word. But because I don't know anything else about anybody else, and I don't. So for Sunday, okay, so like he's you know he's you know he's in love with. There's a point where the camera shows is this shot where his back is to Alex Ukubo, and he's so sad. He's so sad. He has to pick between Insa and Dakar. Sorry, Uche and Toyin. I'm like, oh, you want me to feel sorry for you? Oh, poor you. That this is the thing you have to pick between. Because like from me, I haven't gotten anything that he's actually in love with any of these people. It's not actually love. I mean, it seems like he's just had sex with two women and but I kind of like one. It's just, I don't know. Like, and that scene, where again, like back to, he's backing Alex and they're both facing us. It felt like the film wanted me to feel sorry for him. And I just thought that was, that was funny. Asking too much is a stretch. I thought this was funny. The main issues are just for me, I don't know who Iris is. I don't know who Dakara's character is. I like, there's a point where she's like, this is, maybe this is why things are always hard for me, or things don't always work out for me. I'm like, I don't even know that. Like, I don't know anything about you. I don't know whether you struggled. I don't know whether like you're having a hard time. You don't look like you're having a hard time. You look like you're dressed pretty nice. I don't know. Like, so when she said, she's like in tears or something, like kind of like things, don't always work out for me. I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? Like, I haven't seen anything that like, I can't read your mind. I don't know what's supposed to be having off screen. Anyway, I think what I struggled with what this movie was trying to do in terms of the actual theme. Like Mrs. C thinks it's the love between the friendship. I don't see it that way at all. There's a lot of me that feels like this wanted to discuss the complications of love. It starts with a love quote during the wedding ceremony. They start talking about love, and the whole thing for the most part is it's supposed to be this. It feels like it's supposed to be this observation of a messy type of love. Oh, a man's in love with two women, and the women love each other platonically, and they also love this guy. It's like a love triangle. But I don't get love for almost any of the couple. I don't get that. Like, I don't know why I think people have said it. I don't know why Dakara's character is attracted to him. I don't know why Inse's character wants to break her sexually promiscuous life for him. Like, what changed? I don't know. Also, this movie just sets some things up and just forgets about it. There's a Sunday's divorce. We start talking about that, and then somewhere in the movie is like, okay, I guess it happens or not. I don't know, like, cause like a year passes. Also, Sam, the guy who is like a sexual deviant, it sets up him. It sets him up as somebody who wants to, I can like break you. After a while, Sam just disappears. I'm like, wait, what happened? Did we deal with him off screen? Did we hire a hitman? What happened? But yeah, it's just. I think there's one rant Mrs. C had where she, I think it was Far From Home rant, where she was talking about bombastic elements. And that's kind of what I see. Again, my only thing for me that works is that conflict, I think, is still the thing that works well, where they don't tell each other about Sunday. I think that's the only thing for me that works. Everything else, in terms of all these big, the cancer having a child and wanting both of them to look after the child, that just doesn't, it comes out of nowhere for me. They don't justify why that's such an easy decision for her to make, or why she makes that. I don't, and that's because, again, I don't know Dakara's character. I don't know any of these people's characters. The only person I kind of know is Insa's character, who I guess her personality is. I see her as somebody who's kind of strong on the outside, but a little soft on the inside, and sexually promiscuous, and that's kind of, I mean, like, that's the most characterization. I don't even know whether Oris is a fuckboy or a romantic, because like nothing about, because it feels like the film is trying to tell me he's kind of a lover boy. He's in love with these two women, but like everything about him is giving me fuckboy vibes. So there's that, and also, yeah, I don't know that Chorus character. I've said that. All right, okay, that's essentially me for it. Is there?
Mel, it's Mel.
Oh, Mel, are you? Oh, sorry, I completely forgot. Yeah, your internet has not been good. I didn't know you were back up. Mel, can you hear?
Yeah, I was watching. Yes,
Okay.
I can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you didn't come for the good, so again, feel free to say good, bad.
I don't mind skipping that. Okay, that sounds a bit harsh. Okay, so my good is the women were incredibly beautiful. Yes, and they're partly in. Okay, now to the bad. I just have one bad. And my biggest issue was the story. What is it? Why is it important? Why did it need to be told? Like Vanessa said, 10 years later. What is it? If we're to believe the opening scene, then this film is about two women who become childhood friends and who grow in that friendship and love. But if that's the case, then what does the final scene with the empty beach tell us? Does it tell us that the film was about Toyin loving Uche? If that's the case, then what does the title tell us? Like High Priestess, I really disliked the title. I had initially thought that this was so named because it was about something happening on an eventful Sunday, not because a bland, uninteresting, unfaithful man was named Sunday. Imagine my surprise. So anyway, what exactly is the story of this film, and how does Sunday wiggle his way to the center of the story? I think worse still, why does, I guess I'll say more, and the bunch of people who are credited as writers on this film allow the women of this film to be flattened into these pointless, directionless characters. Honestly, every time we see them, this sisters, every time we see them, they're talking about man. Like, baby girls, can't you talk business? Can't you talk reality things? I'm not sure. It just felt like it didn't know what it wanted to say, although it was so certain that it was saying something that did not, whatever it is it thinks it was saying did not come across at all. Anyway, my final point is that is that really that it says nothing, it goes nowhere, there's no personal struggle, no growth, everything is so random. But honestly, even if it wasn't any of these things, I think that my other dislike would be that I was just entirely and completely uninterested. I think that this film was incredibly boring from start to finish. I'm not surprised. I think it was clear from the trailer and from all the little snippets and teasers that were sent out before it dropped that it was just going to be boring, and it did not disappoint. Yeah, that's my dislikes.
All right, thanks, Mel. Yeah, the marketing of Netflix was something that was interesting. I like the Netflix Nigeria account. They generally do good work, especially in comparison to some of the other people. But I think it was a mistake to show. I think the first 3 scenes were released as clips. It might not have been entirely all of the scenes, but the points of each of those scenes were released. And so I remember watching the first sort of 15 minutes and going, all right, I've already kind of seen this before. Let's get to the thing. And I thought that was an interesting decision by them. Vanessa, did you still have more? You wanted to push back?
Yes, I did. It's not pushback. It's a continuation of the list that I so
Okay.
painstakingly made, and then you decided to shorten the time to 5 minutes. So yeah, we'll carry on. Um, I would genuinely just like to correct the notion that this is a rom-com. It is not, because there was no com anywhere, and quite pitifully, there was no rom. Um, for a supposed romance, this film has zero in it. And like High Priestess said, chemistry tests are things, they exist. I am begging Nollywood to actually take the time to do chemistry tests, and not just with supposed romantic leads, but also with the platonic relationships. Can these people feel like they're people who are comfortable in each other's space, who there's a certain lived in feeling that people who are apparently childhood friends have, that Uche and Toyin did not have. And neither did Sunday with any of these two women, which is why I am in agreement that sex scene was cringe. Not because of how it was shot, but because there was no chemistry. So there wasn't anything that felt like, this is nice. No. And this is just an appeal to Nollywood. I am begging for a romance film. I don't care if it's a drama, if it's a romantic tragedy, whatever. As long as you say the film has romance in it, just give me flutters. That's all I'm asking for. I'm begging, honestly. And then while I might not be the most educated on the technical aspects of filmmaking, I do know enough about the nitty-gritty of hair and makeup slash fashion. And so that's the technical bit I'm going to be speaking on. I mainly have questions about the thought process. I'm assuming there was thought behind it, of the styling, makeup, and hair choices. My first question is this: what was the hair and makeup budget? Because why would Uche and Toyin be in the same wigs from minute one to the very last minute of this film? Even when Toyin was supposedly going through chemo. See, now, if they switched out their wigs a few times, then it would be pretty obvious for us to assume that Toyin and Uche were popping on wigs. Unlike us assuming that this was supposed to be their hair. I don't know. And then maybe Toyin using wigs to cover up her hair from cancer treatment would have seemed plausible. I don't know. My second question is, was it intentional for the makeup to age Nse? From the very first teaser, and this is not even me being exaggerational or whatever the word is, I was zooming into the screen from the teasers to posters to figure out what was wrong. Um, this is not. I genuinely was zooming in just to see what was wrong. And watching the film, it was clear to me that makeup was a large part of the problem. The foundation was so cakey; it settled into Nse's fine lines and made them look like wrinkles. And we know Nse has better skin than that. This isn't me being a hater or wanting or being ageist or wanting instead to look airbrushed perfect, but the makeup looked really bad, which is why I'm asking if it was intentional. My next question is, what was the styling direction of this film? And this is a serious question because it's important to me. Um, Ebony Live Studios has always had shit fashions, but it appears to have gotten progressively worse. Um, my thing is, what are these women supposed to be dressed like? I genuinely think whoever did the styling or costuming of this took the supposed characters very literally. This idea that Uche was supposed to be this promiscuous woman, and so they dressed her in what they considered to be slutty clothing. Pardon my language. And instead of make her appear to be this free spirited, sexually liberated woman, all it did was make her look like someone who couldn't dress for her age. Especially if this film is supposed to be celebrating women of a certain age, um, navigating love relationships, whatever. These women, I would assume, have become comfortable enough in their own body over their years spent on earth to understand how to dress their bodies, whatever their personalities may be or their style identities may be. And this was incredibly lacking. Even and this isn't just with Uche's character, but with Toyin as well. I'm sure the stylist took it literally that Toyin's character was the more conservative of the two friends, and so they dressed her up in grandma chic. Um, Even the first date outfit, the rose gold sequined mess, genuinely looked like grandma fashions. And I'm very sure that neither Dakore or Nse would be caught dead in any of the things that they were wearing on this in this film. I beg Nigerians to stop using cheap satin as a replacement for silk. Um, it's unforgiving to women's bodies, doesn't do their bodies any favors. Nothing about the clothes makes sense for the characters. The fabrics look cheap. The fit of the clothes are abysmal. Um, and honestly, the lack of nuance in the way these characters were styled was genuinely just a carry through from the lack of nuance that the whole film had in how it treated the characters and how it treated the story. Yeah, all around it was just not a good experience. And I am now done.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. This is the mildest of pushback because number one, it's not my area. I will say maybe I did find incest sexy in this.
Yeah, but you're a man. What do you know about fashion?
It's not.
I'm sorry. This is
I
no shade to
literally just
you, but I don't know if
I
you
literally
actually
just
have
said
style.
it's not my domain. I actually said that. I'm talking
Yeah,
about the sexiness of this thing. Please
yeah.
don't
But
kill
even
me.
if Nse was in a brown paper bag, you would find Nse sexy. So I don't think you should be speaking whether or
What
not
are you trying
clothes.
to say, yo?
No, no,
Have
no,
you
no, no. This
seen
is
me?
not even shade. Nse dressed in a
I
brown
have
paper
good
bag
eye.
is sexy. I don't care. Any of those women, if they were dressed in bako bag,
No.
would
Oh
be
yeah.
cute. So
No.
this is not a reflection on the clothing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm not right. I guess yeah. It has nothing to. Might not have anything to do. That's why I said it's the mildest because I think your point is that even like there's a way to do it whilst looking more character appropriate, and I don't have much about that. All right. Ayinka, Ayinka, what do you want to say?
Yes. I see the movie. I don't. If you guys are coming for the name, I like the name. The name is lovely. The name is actually a brilliant name. It doesn't connect with the. It doesn't connect with the movie as much. I get that. Um, the movie. I think the issue with this is that I don't think that. I don't. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm telling people what to do. Whether this is like art is free, you can do whatever you want in art, and people can have a criticism of it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do what you should do. I'm just criticizing it. So I just want to put that down there. Like there is I'm not being an authoritative voice in any way. So nobody come for me like I'm denying other people's work. The issue this movie wants to do that melodramatic anti romance thing. And I get it. I really, really do like those type of stories. I don't expect in this type of stories, people should be good. Characters should be good. Characters are not actual people, but should be good people, or they shouldn't be louses. They're often cheating. Most of this, as much as I'm a fan of this type of this type of movies, I know within myself that most of the time these movies come out of like justification for cheating. And but even if you're justifying cheating, you have to have a character, do things that are very one, they're either very charming. Sometimes you can get a very charming actor, a very, very charming actor. And you as a writer and your story as a whatever does not even have to do nothing. It doesn't even have to be there. The actor will just carry it and people will forgive all the bad actions the actor did or the character did because the actor is charming. And sadly enough, I do not know Oris like that. I did not grow up with Oris. Oris is not Nollywood's like so sorry about that. That's just what happened. Um the characters, and I know everybody have said this, it's just I cannot I it just jumped from place to place. They didn't even give time for any of the character. They show Oris, what's his name? Sunday. Akin. They gave him two different names. I don't know why you did that. That's number one. Number one in your in this, you gave two different names that make no sense, and there is no reason for that move for it to have two different names. And the boys eye tree, and I know I come back to this, but it's a very important thing. You pick things that seemingly you've read a lot of movies, you've watched a lot of books, all those like you. I'm so glad you read Oscar Wilde, but you seem not to do the work that they did. The bonsai tree is not just doesn't come out of nowhere. Do you think most Nigerians will know what a bonsai tree means? You have to make a symbolism of that. You have to work on your symbolism. This is type of movies really do work on symbolisms and like some romantic nonsense notion. And the movie does not do that. The movie does not take you away. The movie does not do that because it just picks it's a copy and paste. And I'm so sorry that I'm saying this, but like a lot of new Nollywood production houses are copy paste. And I'm so sorry. Like, yes, does all had is is repeat of all art that came before? Yes, but they always do something with it. They always do something with it. And that's the issue that has been for a lot of new Nollywood movies. You're copy and pasting a lot. I mean, after I saw this movie, I went to go watch the Corey's movie, old movie, Men Do Cry, with Desmond Elliott and the Corey. And that movie is like 13 hours long. But it gave us a story, it gave us characters. And this movie did not. And that's all I want to say. Like a lot of Nollywood, really new Nollywood. I get it. You want to take Nollywood to the world. We already Nollywood to the world. You want to take it to the next. You want to take it to the next or something. You want to get the Oscars. You want to get all that buzz. You want to get that. You're going to have to one, not just copy and paste. And you're going to have to two, actually serve the people, the Nigerian movie going audience. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to work on it. And you're going to have to not be condescending. And you're going to have to also know Nollywood history to work on, to even copy and paste from Nollywood, from old Nollywood. Do things,
Okay.
you know?
All right. Okay.
Just.
Thank you. Thanks.
That's it.
All right. Thank you. All right. Ikade, you just come just before summary. You have luck. Maybe I'll start locking these things down at summary, but you have made it into. But tell us, I guess maybe you can just do instead of do your summary from there. But you're good or you're bad or your summary. Do everything. Then we go from there.
Hi, good evening. Can you hear me? Just confirm if you can hear me before I go on. Okay, yeah. So, nothing much to say positively right here, but this is like a general comment, right, about the entire movie. Well, I was confused quite a lot. I just knew at first I couldn't explain why I didn't enjoy it, right? But I just watched and I sighed and I watched this, okay? But I couldn't explain the experience. What exactly was this? And then I was speaking to a friend and then a critic friend, right? And he had a couple of things to say which made sense, which explained a couple of things, which I've also noticed as a trend in recent Nollywood movies. And an example, not even an example, there's evidence in a recent Instagram post from Muabudu, right? And just the caption, I like looking at these things from filmmakers when their captions, their statements before a movie gets released and things like that. It gives you so much insight into what these people are thinking, right? If you can't understand their movie, at least maybe you get hint elsewhere. So he pointed, this critic friend, right, Osaz, he pointed it out to me that, oh yeah, there was this Instagram post where she mentions that, oh, I've been working on this movie. This story has been in my head for 10 years. And the story would make you people talk and think about these things. And like, I'm just paraphrasing, right? These are not the exact words. So it's like they were thinking about this complex story or issue that would get people talking. And I think that's the problem when you're thinking about what gets people talking without putting in the work into the story. You're thinking about the big things, right? Not just the big things. Like, how do I explain it? Like, question that will bring up questions like, oh, who was at fault at the end of the movie? Those are the things. It's almost like Tyler Perry, SK, right? That kind of thing, like the acrimony kind of um plot or story, right? And at the end of the day, you're asking people are it's generating engagement conversations, but it can generate those kind of conversations when you actually write it in, when you actually put it into the work. But then when we have something like things that have just been contrived, right, and not deeply written, of course we understand Nollywood's problems, but apart from that, you would just see that, oh, these things are just coming out of nowhere. The cancer twist or no twist, I don't know, the twist about she knowing her friend was actually having a thing with the guy the entire time. This was just no, so just to get us talking at the end of the day, who is actually the bad person, who is actually the good person. But then it doesn't work that way for a film that you want people to actually talk about for a long time. The shelf life. Think about these things, right? Sadly, maybe in Niger Christmas, this is an example of a movie, right, that should be like evergreen. Just an example, like, oh, a Christmas movie. But then last year, we could not even find people talking about it or even watching it again. I don't even think it ranked on the top 10 or maybe for a day or two. I don't know, I'm not aware. But then that kind of, so this movie, what happens a week after, what happens 2 weeks after asking us who is at fault, who is good, who is bad, who is the bad friend, then it ends there because the work actually hasn't gone into the story. It hasn't gone into the characterization, hasn't gone into these people. That's even aside from the acting, whatever acting issues we might have. But then there are other ways to do these things, and I think it all boils back down to the screenwriting problem in Hollywood. Yeah, screenwriting, and alas, it wasn't a Nigerian that wrote it, right? So we have like huge issue to deal with concerning screenwriting and maybe script development and that area in general in Nollywood. And yeah, then I think that's where. If not, we'll just keep talking about these things frequently, almost every time. I don't think we don't have many people who do this thing really well. But then, if you want to get the conversation, is it organic or natural? Yeah, that will get naturally. It would happen, but then just write it into it. Write this moment into the film, and then we would all talk after the film is out. It would occur over a long period of time. This happened with King of Boys, for Christ's sake. The first one, the KOB army started naturally. People asked for more and more movies, right? Because this happened now. You don't force these things; they happen naturally when you actually write it into the movie, when you actually work it into the movie, into the story, and not just pop it out of nowhere just to get it. You don't think about the conversation before the movie. You think about, oh, how do I creatively work this into my story? And then we start talking after, we start pushing. By we, I mean the audience. People will start talking about it, then it goes from there on, and not just you already thinking either, okay, what would make people talk? What would be this? What subject matter should we blow into their faces, right? But then at the end of the day, well, Mr. C, please, who is at fault? Is he? I would like to know. I think I'll be interested in your opinion. What do you think is at fault? And that's what you want us to talk about. That's always what the conversation is about. And then we can't keep making movies like Tyler Perry or yeah, that kind of. It's not what we should be doing as filmmakers. I think. Yeah, that's it from me.
All right, thanks, Kade. I personally think it's all your fault, to be honest. If you're asking me my opinion personally, I think it's your fault. Everything. And other critics, you and other critics, to be honest, I think it's your fault. Anybody that doesn't say this film is good, it's basically your fault. That's what I believe. All right. I think Elle just came on. Okay, Elle, tell us the things you like, do not like, and the summary about a Sunday affair. Anything Lagos.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Thank you, thank you. I think I've been waiting for this thing for a few days, so I'm just gonna go straight into it. This guy came to Nigeria, and basically for me, when I joined this life, it's always about the script development. It's always about character development. It's just all over the place. We have someone coming to Nigeria for for his brother's wedding. How long was he there for? To even talk about investing in someone's business and is willing to write a blank check. Not be like that. People from abroad they do 'em. You understand? They could just come into town. He doesn't have prior knowledge in art. It doesn't move him. It's not something that part of the story was like, oh, I love to read art, I love to do, stuff, I'm an investor. So for someone to just write up a story and say, yeah, he liked this girl or whatever, he shacked up with her and he's willing to invest in a business like that, from the look of things, the guy's brief does not look like someone that would be investing randomly in someone's business, a stranger for that matter. Again, when it comes to character development, someone is part of owning an art store. We don't see our day-to-day activity. We don't see her working with any of the staff, maybe taking down artwork, putting up artwork, doing this with artwork, saying, we need to do this here. We need to clear this off the floor. We need to bring new art pieces to the floor. They need to send this for repair. Just a little bit of that. Just give, just not every day come on the table, bang on the table. Just give us a little bit of just one scene to show us, our day-to-day workings at the store. At the store, she's fighting so much to keep, to save. We didn't see any of that. So basically, it's a lady that, all the thing in this movie was just talking. When it comes to the art, and love is on amount they take talk. You understand? If you're saying you're fighting so well to keep an art store, I don't see the attachment. The connection was not there. If we're gonna pull it from the part of art was just a wrong stuff. They could have just given her a boutique to manage. You understand? I mean, that one is very easy. Somebody can put on clothes together. She knows how to be stylish. That's an easy working. But when writers write stuff like this, they should be able to back it up to a level. This is not Cambridge. You don't even have to go to Harvard or Yale for any of this. Just little doings. Just sprinkle it there. It's like we go from A and we go to Z and that's it. Okay, so I'm just going to move on from that. Everybody already talked about the hair and the makeup. I am a producer myself, so I know what it takes when we talk about hair and makeup. Those two departments, they need to flog them. We talk about a story of someone that has cancer. Just give us some workings where she was in the bathroom and she had to take off a wig. Just give us some doings where she's having, our best friend is asking her, so how are you doing? Oh, she can say, I'm beginning to lose part of my hair. I'm this is the treatment I've been on. For someone to say that you guys have that kind of relationship, someone that, is about to give birth to a baby and we're saying, if my best friend do not get here, I'm not going to have this baby. He didn't show us, even if she told the best friend she's having cancer, she had cancer and she just heard about it in the last 2 weeks. Nothing apart from that dinner that they all had and said the Lord's Prayer, nothing of that showed that they were real friends. Give us something to cry about. Give us something to be emotional about. This is cancer, for God's sake, we're talking about. It's cancer. There was nothing that those friends actually connected with, in terms, there was just nothing. So again, I'm saying it again and I've said it again and I'm saying it again. Please, we have a problem in Nollywood. We have a
big problem when it comes to story writing. Our writers are not there. We have, so it's from the technical point we have gone, we are okay, but our writing is so bad. Our writers are so lazy. Please, you people pay attention. I'm saying it and I will keep saying it again. We have a writing problem in Nollywood. If people like Ebony Life cannot afford the best writer and cannot pay attention and do character development and story development, then what do you expect from the small producers? If you guys cannot set the tone and actually make something with the big budget, what is this nonsense? What is this nonsense? That's when you say that, how are these kind of movies getting to Netflix? How are these kind of movies getting to Netflix? Again, we're going to talk about gatekeeping, because it looks like once they are a brand that is associated with Netflix, they can bring rubbish to Netflix and nobody will question them, apart from us that jump on live every Sunday. This is a mess. To everybody involved, this is a total mess. I'm saying that on record. Total mess. See anybody back come for me? That's my own.
Well, thanks. All right. Nothing to add to that. Vivian, please tell us what you thought. Vivian, are you there?
Hey, hi. I don't want to talk for long, just a little. I think my major issue with A Sunday Affair is, see, I like watching films about female friendship, right? Because it's actually difficult to see proper. The world has a big problem with portraying women or with writing women. And Nollywood has a screenwriting problem, yes, but the whole world has a problem with properly writing women. So when you see something like female friendship, I mean, that's enough to make me watch, right? But not performative portrayal. And A Sunday Affair is very performative, right? When it comes to female friendship. So yeah, women are friends on screen. Let's celebrate. Let's be happy. But do you care about these women? No. A Sunday Affair does not care about these women. Mr. C, you kept talking about how we don't know anything about Toyin. Yes. People seem to think we know something about Uche, but everything we know about Uche is through the eyes or as she relates with men. I think it was Elle that talked about give her a boutique if she does not know anything about art. But I feel like if they had given her a boutique, she still would not know anything about, because they don't care about her running. The only reason that art, whatever thing is, so that her and Sam can have their whatever they were having. But the film did not actually care about these women. I didn't care about Toyin one bit. Toyin was just the height, the correct character. This film did not care about. It was just performative, female friendship, but were these women really friends? As little as all they ever talked about men, nothing else. The teenage version that we met once, they were talking about a boy. Nothing else. Your friends, one person is trying to have a baby. Before she even met Sunday, she's trying to have a baby. And these friends have not talked about it. One person's mother seems to want her to get married, Uche's character. That pressure, these friends have not talked about it so much that these women could have talked about. But only men, Sunday especially. Sunday. Everything Sunday. But the women, it's even cared more about, like, we don't even know that much about Sunday, but we definitely know more about him than we know about the women. Because this is really a Sunday affair. This is about Sunday. The whole thing of friendship, female friendship, is just, I don't know, it's very performative. It does not actually care about the women and their friendship. It centers a man in female friendship. And to be honest, I don't know if I should blame them, because the world has, like I said before, the world has a problem with writing women. The whole world needs to work on it. But Nollywood needs to care more. Nollywood really needs to care more. I think that's all I have to say.
Oh my God. First off, you sound ridiculously close to Yinka. You guys are sisters you guys are voice sisters if that ever exists.
Hello,
But
Tempest.
Voice sisters. All right. But no, thanks for that. Yes, I'm my thing with even incest character isn't just like I'm not even saying like we know a lot about her. She's just the one we know something the most. You're right. To be honest, Sunday doesn't have much depth. He doesn't have any depth either. I just don't know why. Yeah. Anyway, somebody, I think it was the high priestess who said it about the world building in terms of like setting up these characters and like the world they live in. Just don't know what they're capable of. It's like if you don't set up the rules, like, hey, okay, so this is what this person is capable of. This one is this person is capable of. Like in terms of wealth, we don't know what level of wealth anybody has. Is Inse richer than Sunday? Is Sunday richer than? We just nothing.
Yeah. Sorry, I just had to stand up and pipe in here because I'm thinking of two things now that really confused me in terms of knowing who these people were. Who is Sunday? What kind of person is Sunday that he decides he hasn't finished up his divorce and he's going to get into a relationship with a woman who is potentially terminally ill? Right? She's not terminally ill, she's seriously ill with cancer. People's spouses leave them when they're undergoing cancer treatment. Who is this person that he decides he met these people on Tuesday and is going to get into a committed relationship with this woman he barely knows because she has cancer while he's allegedly in love with somebody else and still trying to wrap up a divorce and fix Nigerian railway? I don't understand that person. Then Unse's character, I did not understand. Her childhood flashbacks plus her family house, her family has money, right? As a child, she had money. So if you're sleeping with a sugar daddy for art, right, that you don't plan on making a profit from because she was clearly not interested in turning a profit, then you have to have some sort of a privileged lifestyle, right? This is the kind of thing Blair and Serena van der Woodson would do, right? You need to have that kind of cushion before you can use sugar daddy's money for art. That's not going to make you any money. But then her sugar daddy tells her, your house, your clothes, everything, you owe it to me. It's like, who are these people? I don't understand them. And I don't understand what's going on.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, like, I think one of the things I said in my good was like, Instead did have this opportunity to deliver some range in her character, but like sometimes it was to the detriment. Whilst it might have shown off some acting chops, sometimes it's a detriment. So when Instead like it's in the sauna and Instead's character, sorry, it's in the sauna and this side very bad extra actors saying, oh, giving her trouble. And she turns on this Agbo. This is like, wait, that's not your character. You've been living the good life. I thought that you shouldn't have that year within you. But like, it's just part of the confusion in terms of setting up where people are. But like, it's not directed well. People don't understand their characters particularly well. To be fair, there's not a lot for them to hold on to. I can't imagine what it. I had a dig at Dakar. Like I said, this is one of Dakar's worst performance. But like honestly, I feel for because like I'm just thinking about the script. It's like, what is she supposed to go on with this? I'm friends with this person. I've been friends with her for a long time. And then I start sleeping with somebody she slept with. Why? Oh, he sat next to you on the train and he did. Yeah, you had dinner. Anyway, I don't want to go into it again. Let's just do the summary. All right. That's please. Let's start with you. Oh, test thing just broke. All right. Fi, do you want to give us your summary?
All right. Okay. So for me, because of my ladies, Dakore and Inse, because it's a storyline focused on people in their 40s, I love that. Because of the production quality, the director, the way that I cried when Uche found out Toyin died, I would recommend the film, but for people to watch it at least once. I definitely didn't like the storyline ending up revolving around Akin/Sunday. I really liked, I would have rewritten the ending to have an alternate ending in which the ladies either chose themselves and their friendship, you understand, or, they had their own resolution with the situation, and it was more meaningful, it was more sensible, or something along those lines. And I'd have loved to see a deeper friendship storyline as opposed to what we saw. I wouldn't have loved this story to have been focused on Akin at all. I would have loved for him to be a side character. So, but I'll say people should still watch it once. Thank you.
Thanks, Fi. Vanessa, do you have a summary for us?
Yeah, I guess my summary is if you want to watch a film that purports itself to be about female friendships while masquerading, well, actually, purports itself to be a film about female friendships while actually being one that is just about, that centers a shitty man with zero charisma and tries to be melodramatic and elicit fake emotions from you to unend and produce unend sympathy, then yeah, go ahead, watch A Sunday Affair if you would actually just like to not have a headache and sleep peacefully by not altering your life chemistry by watching this film, then don't.
All right. Thanks, Vanessa. I have pushback. I am only doing this pushback because I think a few people have said this, and it's. I don't think there's evidence to frame this as as a film about women's relationship.
Oh, you don't think it is?
I don't think it is. I
Three
don't. I mean, like,
flashbacks or multiple flashbacks about these two women?
no, it's part. Their relationship is part of it, but
No, it's not part of it.
the movie is called A Sunday Affair.
I give up.
I'm just saying, like, everybody's saying the relationship isn't well done, isn't particularly that well done, or the focus, which I agree. But like, if you assume that the film is a movie about women's relationships, I think, yeah, you could see it worse than.
No, but that's what it was. That's what it was.
Okay.
This wasn't about a man. If this was about a man, then we would have had a completely different ending. Let's be for real.
Okay. I mean, I don't see how that ties in with my pushback, to be honest, because like it ends up with a Sunday and Inse being together. Like, again, it feels like the women's relationship is just a side. It's just a part of this thing. It doesn't seem like it's the main. It doesn't seem like it's the main thing. It's part of the complication.
I think for me, because I mentioned it earlier, I feel like it was meant to be, and then it got lost somewhere. But I think there's no way. I think it was meant to be, but it got lost somewhere. But honestly, yeah, they spent too much time focusing on Sunday and all of that, and yeah, whatever.
Mr. C, let's agree to disagree because the film isn't worth this.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just like, I can just hear somebody going, the film's called A Sunday Affair, guys. It's not necessarily about it. Is maybe then the title is bad and then every other thing is bad, but like, I just don't think it's possible to know what the film is about, which is a problem with the film, by the way. I'm not saying it's a good, but like, starting with the point where the film is definitely about women's relationship and it didn't go that way, I think that's where my pushback is. But you can take it or leave it. Whoever's next.
All right. High Priestess, would you like to give us your summary?
To be honest, I don't know anybody who would, like, I can see the appeal for the general public, like the regular Nollywood, like, I can see the appeal for them. It's beautiful. Like, I think Mo does that very well. She knows what will get people all the regular viewers more excited. So I don't know anybody I would actually recommend this to, because it was a headache to watch. I was deeply upset because, again, it started off really well. So again, you think it's about friendship, and I feel like they missed the point. They missed the mark with like deviating from that. It really should have been about the friendship. So I don't know what my summary is, to be honest. I regret watching the film.
Okay. Tempest in a Teapot, have you spoken? Did you want to give us a summary?
What did you call just now?
We just spoke to Hyposters.
Okay.
Wait, you've given a summary, right? Can anyone hear me? Amadudu?
Okay. Okay, you guys didn't allow me to come back the second time, actually. So let me just keep my summary. Okay. I think I would recommend this movie if anyone wants to learn bad writing, like how to write a bad movie, kind of. I think if you are going to be a film writer, as screenwriter, you should learn. You should watch good movies and bad movies. And if you want to see another bad movie from Ebony Life, you should see this movie. And if you're a fan of Dakori or the other lady, the other lead character, if you are a fan of any of them or both, you should see the movie. That's all. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Shagun summary?
I don't know. It's I think Nollywood have developed they've devised a formula that works. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it to the people I know because because of the Nollywood Film Club, I watched this at a friend's place and she gave me this look like, why am I putting her through this type? And I said, look, I'm doing it for the culture, it's for the people we're trying to do and all that. So I wouldn't recommend it, but there is a market for it, so people will watch it, and I guess it's fine. I am pretty much just for this particular production company. I'm pretty much more concerned about technicalities because there's somebody that has grossed in box office that has grossed 500 million so far, and I don't care for any of their whatever they make, but they are grossing half a billion. So I guess there's something there, something that works. People will watch it. I just really want to see. I want to see better. I want to see them put more effort into it because it seems like they're not doing anything at all, and the feedback is always we don't have Hollywood budgets, and it's getting very tiresome. Yeah, and then push back on what Mr. C said. You said it's not about friendship. What is it about? Because I know it's called the Sunday Affair. And if it was a Sunday Affair, I'm guessing it would have been more about Sunday and his issues with his wife. There would have been a lot of his wife there being a pain in his neck and all that, and him eventually finding solace in these two girls that he has fallen in love with. But I mean, I think the movie just lost it somewhere and didn't know what he wanted to do. So overall, for what it is, I wouldn't recommend it. I just hope they do better. That's for me.
Okay, thanks. But yeah, my pushback to your pushback. No, I don't. I'm not saying. I just don't think it's clear. I'm agnostic, and I don't think a position of it's definitely it's supposed to be about the women's friendship. I mean, Sunday is right there in the opening scene as well. It's just like so part of this movie. People are saying there's too much Sunday. I'm saying it looks like that if you look at it from a certain angle. You have to be open to the fact that you could be wrong, that it's not just supposed to be about the women's relationship. That's what I'm saying. It might might actually be that that's what they were going for. I'm just saying that there isn't enough evidence in the film for me to suggest that that's what they were going for, especially given the title of the film.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we've done all the audience summaries.
Yeah, so you.
My summary.
Wait, that was the sum. I did.
You didn't know you were doing summary? Do you have another summary?
Oh, that was my summary? I thought that was just the second round.
Yeah, it was second round.
It was the second round. She spoke after Ade, and we made Ade do his summary.
No.
Okay, all right. Give us your summary then.
It might be no. Somebody. I was. It's an okay movie. It's an okay movie. It is a confusing movie. I think it is both. I think it was supposed to be about the woman and the man, and they wanted to show the complications of love and the mixy. You know, you can love two people that are best friends. Love is very confusing. Basically, something that everybody already knows, but whatever. The movie is okay. If you want to watch melodramatic antsy love that it's painful and you're like, oh my god, go watch other movies. That there are better movies. Like you could watch what's it called? An Affair to Remember. I guess that's an older movie. There are newer movies that do this melodramatic movie, or you could watch a TV show, and there are many TV shows, or you could even watch old Nollywood movies that do this type of like I'm in love, but there's something stopping me type of antsy love story. But this is not bad to watch. It's short, and as I always say, you can watch it. You cannot watch it. It's your choice. Movies are meant to entertain. If you're not entertained by it, choose another thing.
All right, thank you. Yeah, for my summary, I think I probably would recommend this because I watched it with people and they thought it was all right. They didn't like the ending, but they thought it was mostly fine. So, there's an audience for it. So, it's what it is. But yeah, it left me feeling a bit confused, and I laughed at the end. And I don't think that was the intent. Mr. C.
Yeah, I thought this was bad in the sense of just general, but like I guess it's just quite normal to have these things. I'm still thinking about like films like Fine Wine that I think are just as bad, but I think they have more charismatic performances from the leads, and that just allows people to ignore more of the shortcomings of other things. And I think where this one lacks, so like something like Fine Wine is just more low budget, so like the story and the production might not be as good and all of that, but like the story is more tighter. But like this, because this, I think people might have issues with the way the story pans out. Yeah, but like I didn't think much of this. It's just we've done another big film. But like it was shorter. But I guess one thing for me is that there's something about this again. Like it's that we had a promiscuous Nigerian woman, and she wasn't. It wasn't even like they didn't concentrate much on it. It was just like. It was just like, yeah, and you know, she was supposed to be an empathetic character, and like the point of it wasn't to particularly shame her out of being promiscuous as well. I really like that. Unfortunately, the story just doesn't work for me. But yeah, thank you.
That was a Sunday affair.
What do we do? What do we do? We're not even film club. What do we do? We talk about movies every Sunday.
For better or worse.
Next week, we don't know what we're doing.
We'll put a poll. We have options.
We have options.
We have options. We have Palava. I'm going to vote for Palava.
All right. But yeah, we might just take a break from watching movies and maybe talk about other things about Nollywood movies next week. That'll be part of the poll. That'll be part of the poll. All right. But if not, we'll see you next Sunday, guys. Thanks to all of our speakers. Thank you for everybody who's spoken. Thanks, guys. And thanks
well done to everyone for keeping it to 2.5 hours. I appreciate you.
Look at that. Badamasi has done it again. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for listening to the episode. If you enjoyed listening and would like to join live, just follow us on Twitter at IrokoCritic and join us every Sunday 6 p.m. West African time on our spaces.